The residents of Baltimore were shocked to know that they were not safe in their homes. The members of the gun track task force were engaging in dishonest business practices, including fraud, extortion, and robbery.
Corrupt cops who swore to protect and serve were nothing more than criminals.
Their secrets were revealed in 2017, and since then, the Baltimore story was covered by the media extensively. How did they get caught? How did they manage to save their faces all these years? The significant news that this legendary police fraud gang had been exposed stemmed from the death of Freddie Gray. Given that Freddie died unexpectedly while in police custody, the Baltimore police station was under investigation. To find out how Freddie died and what caused it, an investigation was carried out. According to the inquiry report, 6 Baltimore police officers were involved in the arrest of Freddie Gray. He was caught selling drugs when he was detained. He was dragged to the police van, where they locked the door. But the fact that they disregarded safety precautions and endangered Freddie's life is what went wrong. The policeman in the van was playing with him like he was a toy. He was treated inhumanely and subjected to terrible torture. He was prohibited from using a seatbelt, and his wrists and feet were bound. He was not permitted to have any type of basic safety equipment. His spinal cord and neck were seriously hurt. He was unable to withstand the torture and passed away a week later as a result. There was something strange about the police officers. Therefore, the Department of Justice decided to look into it further. Rod Rosenstein of the DEA decided to investigate and expose this terrible tale. These 6 officers were accused of manslaughter for having little compassion for Freddie, knowing that the police force they had blindly trusted could do something terrible, shocked the public. This top-notch police unit was comprised of Thomas Allers, Momadou Gondo, Jamel Rayam, Evodio Hendricks, Maurice Ward, Marcus Taylor, Daniel Herschel, and Wayne Jenkins. Everyone paid attention to Wayne since he was the leader. Wayne Jenkins was the worst law enforcement official there has ever been. The GTF was run by him, and he was in charge. You can refer to him as the mastermind. The Gun Track Task Force was uncovered in 2017 by a unit member who confessed to his crimes on a video that the DEA heard. Gondo was in touch with the narcotics gang. The investigators' discovery of the crucial clue that caused them to begin to question the police officers marked this moment as the pivotal one. Gondo's confessions were all recorded by the DEA. He disclosed his involvement in drug sales and use. The DA was surprised when he subsequently detailed other crimes in which he had participated. These police officers have committed a seemingly endless number of crimes. They had a good plan that they followed exactly every day without fail. The drug dealers were their major focus. They would target and torture these individuals. All the narcotics would be removed and sold again. They made more money from this than they could have as a police officer. They go looking for drug dealers to extort drugs and cash from every day. They lack any emotional attributes that a person should have, along with any sense of professional responsibility for the work they conduct as police officers. The only thing they cared about was gathering more drugs to sell. They will make a significant amount of money from this. They did not shoot other individuals with the illegal guns they carry, but instead unintentionally planted explosives on them. They could then detain anyone in possession of an unauthorized firearm. These officers were brought before the court to make confessions after being apprehended. Hearing about all the crimes these officers committed in a short amount of time startled the jury. Wayne once observed some men robbing a drugstore with the assistance of other officers. They valiantly put an end to the robbery, but they were not acting alone. They kept up the robbery and took drugs from that location. After plundering the business, they sold the drugs to additional drug dealers. Through that, they became very wealthy. A prominent drug dealer suspect's house was searched without warning after they stole his house keys. Then they went ahead and made off with $100,000 from there. They used to indiscriminately drive cars at high speeds in a crowd of people, exhibiting a cruel mentality. These policemen hunt people who flee for their life before arresting them. By carrying out such awful deeds, they feel strong and joyful. They fitted illegal tracking devices in the cars of narcotics dealers to follow them. The police officers would be able to find out where and when these drug sellers will be using this equipment. The cops from the GATF either raid their residences or steal their drugs and cash. They committed all of these acts over the last 3 years without anyone even suspecting them. They discriminated against and held a negative attitude towards black people. Throughout this brief time, they stole somewhere around $300,000. They stole 7 pounds of cocaine during these 3 years. From the narcotics sellers, they also took 43 pounds of marijuana. In addition to this, they converted the proceeds from the sale of pricey, one-of-a-kind jewels into cash. According to their respective portions, they divided up the entire sum of money and spent it all on themselves. A group of police officers could not possibly have committed such heinous atrocities while on duty. The court could not believe it. They received a sentence of 112 years. They must serve that sentence in prison. Jenkins, the chief of the GITF, received a particularly lengthy sentence because he was the perpetrator of all of these crimes. Jenkins is currently serving a sentence of 25 years in a Kentucky prison. These policemen's crimes had a significant impact on the Baltimore Police Department. Both the general public and other departments must come to trust them. Others now view them with contempt, since what this policeman did was unjustifiable. The HBO miniseries with that title is called We Own This City. The Baltimore incident served as inspiration for the producers, who turned it into a miniseries and showed it to the audience. Even among female police officers, there are nasty ones. Let's witness the account of a female police officer who was deceived by love and wealth. A female police officer named Antoinette Frank and her boyfriend Rogers Lacaze committed a terrible crime together. The horrifying murder occurred on March 4, 1995, stunning the residents of New Orleans. Together with her family, Chauveau managed her restaurant. They made a substantial fortune through their family business, Kim Ainge, to watch after their business. They had enlisted Ronald Williams as a part-time security guard. In his spare time, Ronald works there. He used to be a police officer when Frank and her boyfriend, a drug dealer, stormed into the restaurant and demanded money. Chauveau called Ronald to the dining room to give his wages. Frank began threatening Chauveau and her brother. Ronald tried to intervene to defend the siblings, but Frank's lover shot him. She panicked since Frank hadn't anticipated things to go worse. Chau and her brother hid in the walk-in fridge as Frank turned around to hunt for her companion. The older siblings, Kuang and Ha Vu, were cleaning the restaurant when the incident occurred. Frank questioned them over the money, but Chau had hidden it in the microwave. She shot the 2 older siblings as soon as Frank discovered the money. Both of them received death sentences after being tried in court. Frank was transferred to a Louisiana prison for women. Do you believe there are other officers like this in law enforcement? Do you anticipate a repeat of this incident? Let us know in the comments.
On the evening of September 21, 2019, law enforcement authorities swiftly reacted to a distressing domestic violence call that had emanated from an apartment in Austin, Texas. Deputy Pereira, a dedicated officer serving with the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, promptly arrived at the location. The door he knocked on belonged to the residence of Skylar Leo, a young 20-year-old woman who cohabited with her boyfriend Eric Ramirez. The call, urgently placed by a concerned neighbor, compelled the officers to investigate the situation without delay. Ms. Leo informed Deputy Pereira that Mr. Ramirez had left the apartment and didn't know his whereabouts. She also expressed her unwillingness to press charges of domestic assault.
Look up for me. What's on your neck? What happened?
Nothing happened.
So I have witnesses saying something happened. So are you trying to protect him?
No, I just really don't like dealing with y'all. I really don't want to deal with y'all. I really don't.
Okay. So...
I don't need to talk to you. I really don't.
Do you have your ID on you or anything?
No, I don't.
So what's your last name?
Domestic violence laws vary across states, including how abuse is defined, the charges against abusers, and mandatory reporting requirements. In Texas, officers have discretion in making arrests for domestic violence incidents. Despite Ms. Leo's reluctance to press charges, law enforcement and prosecutors can pursue criminal actions based on their investigation and evidence. Texas law emphasizes the protection of domestic violence victims, regardless of their cooperation.
So, I'm trying to figure out why your friends called the cops.
What friend?
Or your witnesses, whoever was over here that called us. So
we got into an argument.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. It was nothing physical?
Nothing physical.
Where are the marks on your neck from?
We got my necklace right here.
No, this right here. What is that from?
Does it really matter?
Yes.
It
I'm
doesn't.
gonna make sure you're okay.
I'm fine, ma'am.
So-
I'm fine. Like, literally, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I get a rash talking to y'all. I do not want to talk to you. And especially Williamson County. Y'all have a really bad reputation. I've bad encounters with y'all. I do not want to
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I know you aren't, ma'am.
Okay, so we need your cooperation.
I know, and I'm
Do you want to
trying
press
give it-
charges?
I do not. And
Okay.
no, I do not.
Thus, the police had a duty to safeguard Miss Leo's well-being during their response. Deputy Lorenzo Hernandez, previously featured on a reality show, encountered a situation where he tried to enter Miss Leo's apartment. Although Miss Leo protested, the Fourth Amendment allows officers to enter a citizen's home without a warrant under certain circumstances, such as protecting individuals from immediate harm, like in cases of domestic violence. Courts have often given officers broad discretion in responding to domestic violence calls. Based on these precedents, it's likely that a court would find Deputy Hernandez's entry into Miss Leo's apartment justifiable to ensure her safety, despite her objection. However, we must also address the legality of use of force in this situation. Deputy Hernandez contends that Miss Leo's non-compliance justified the altercation and the use of force by the deputies. However, a court would likely disagree, as it must assess the reasonableness of the force used. In the 1989 Supreme Court case of Graham v. Connor, courts considered the severity of the crime, the threat posed to officers or others, and whether the suspect is actively resisting arrest. The 2018 case of Darden v. City of Fort Worth further emphasized that excessive force occurs when an arrestee is not actively resisting. Ms. Leo, a victim not resisting arrest, faced unwarranted aggression. A court would undoubtedly find Deputy Hernandez's actions excessive. Sheriff Robert Shodey initiated an internal investigation after an altercation, leading to Deputy Hernandez's one-day suspension. Surprisingly, Hernandez was later promoted to detective, but in January 2021, he resigned when former Sheriff Shodey lost to current Sheriff Mike Gleason. Subsequently, Hernandez faced charges of official oppression and assault for his excessive use of force against Miss Leo.
When she in my house, I'm like, well, we gotta find the guy that allegedly did this. So she didn't give direction, travel, description, anything. She's like, he left, I don't know where he went.
Third level Dickerson.
Satisfaction. What's up?
So we need to see if this guy's inside your apartment.
Who else is in here?
She filed a lawsuit against him in the Williamson County Sheriff's Office on September 20th, 2021. Both the criminal charges against Hernandez and Miss Leo's civil suit remain pending. His actions were unacceptable, rapidly escalating a peaceful situation, showing unprofessionalism and using excessive force.
Went to my apartment. Y'all, with what? I'm literally gonna press charges on y'all.
We have a possible felony.
Possible felony
Yes.
for what? For who? He's not here, I'm telling you.
But you don't know where he went?
I don't know where he went. Lady.
Okay.
Like, what?
Yeah, so you can understand why you're in handcuffs right now?
So what happened? We were trying to talk, right? That's all we were trying to do?
Okay, so I'm gonna take
Is there
these
a light in
handcuffs
here?
off you.
How do you turn the light
Are we
on?
gonna be cool if we take these handcuffs off?
The light's not on. It's not on.
All right, ma'am. So I wasn't here with information to relate to you. When we come to stuff like this, we're going to check for safety reasons, okay? We're going to make sure he's not here and you're not hiding him. We understand you don't want to cooperate. We can't force you to do that. We get that. We understand that. But you don't do what you just did. Not when we show up for something like this. We don't get your cooperation. That is what happens.
Yes.
Okay?
The deputy's authority to enter Miss Leo's apartment for the domestic disturbance is still debated. Here's our next story of a cop getting fired. On June 26, 2020, a 73-year-old woman named Karen Garner, who suffered from dementia and sensory aphasia, which impaired her ability to communicate and understand, attempted to leave a Walmart in Loveland, California, carrying unpaid items worth $13.88. Store employees stopped her for leaving, and Miss Garner tried to offer her a credit card to pay for the items, but they refused and took the items back. Eventually, she left the store. Subsequently, a Walmart employee reported the incident to the Loveland Police Department, and Officer Austin Hopp responded to the call. He located Miss Garner as she was walking home on the side of the road and pulled up behind her with his lights on. When she didn't stop, he parked his vehicle and approached her. After failing to effectively communicate with Miss Garner, Officer Hopp grabs her and throws her to the ground in an attempt to restrain her.
Ma'am, police, stop. You want to stop with lights on, siren? Stop. You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay. Let's stop.
Miss Garner, visibly confused, repeatedly tells Officer Hop that she's going home, as the two engage in a brief scuffle. Eventually, Officer Hop's able to place Miss Garner into handcuffs and lead her back to his patrol car. Shortly after Officer Hop gained control of Miss Garner, Daria Jalali arrived on the scene. The two officers, Hop and Jalali, once again forced Miss Garner to the ground. Officer Jalali assisted Officer Hop in restraining Miss Garner's feet and placing her in the patrol vehicle. A concerned citizen confronted Officer Hop about his conduct. Officer Hop defended himself, claiming he had the authority to use force, but the citizen believed it violated department policy, Colorado law, and the U.S. Constitution.
I'm not going home.
Why are you fighting with me? And why are you trying to slip the cuffs off?
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. Are you finished? Are you finished? We don't play this game. You understand me? And if you try to kick me, oh, this is going to be bad.
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
The Colorado Revised Statutes under Section 18.1.707 require officers to use nonviolent means when possible before resorting to physical force. However, this provision was only added through Senate Bill 20-217, effective from September 1, 2020. At the time of Miss Garner's arrest, the statute allowed reasonable physical force for effecting an arrest. Despite her non-threatening demeanor, the officer's actions came under scrutiny. In an attempt to ascertain Miss Garner's identity, the officers questioned her about her date of birth. However, she remained unresponsive and refused to engage with them, showing apparent signs of mental instability.
Karen, I got your credit card, okay? It'll go with you. What's your date of birth, Karen? I have it. You will have it with you. I will not lose it, I promise. What's your date of birth, Karen? Huh? Who's my sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, I can tell you that. Sergeant Metzler, he's at the police department. You can go talk to him if you have an issue.
Yeah, give me your card so I can put a report.
Okay.
I see you there, how you throw the little kid.
Little kid?
Well, I don't know.
He's not a little kid. And this is what happened.
He was just walking, and I see you how you grab him.
Stole from Walmart and refused to stop, refused to listen to lawful orders, and to fight me. This is what happens when you fight the police. I have to use force to safely detain her. That's what this is. This isn't just some random act of aggression.
Unfortunately, the officer seemed oblivious to the possibility of her suffering from dementia, despite her exhibiting symptoms of disorientation, memory loss, and disordered speech. The Loveland Police Department's policy on interactions with individuals suspected of mental illness clearly outlined the need for officers to be aware of such behaviors and to establish a compassionate connection while ensuring everyone's safety. Officer Hop, as seen in the body camera footage, either failed to recognize these signs or deliberately disregarded the policy during his interactions with Miss Garner. After being brought to the police station, Miss Garner was led inside by officers and left handcuffed to a bench where she remained unattended for several hours without any medical assistance. Officer Hop's use of force resulted in severe injuries for Miss Garner, including a fractured and dislocated shoulder, a bloody nose, facial scrapes, and contusions on her knees. The incident also led to her being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, causing ongoing physical pain in her shoulder, arm, and wrist.
Here, let me see your feet.
Credit card.
We'll get it.
Oh, my credit card.
Karen, I got your credit card, okay? It'll go with you. What's your date of birth, Karen?
Oh, my credit card.
I have it. You will have it with you. I will not lose it, I promise. What's your date of birth, Karen?
Security footage at the station revealed officers Hop and Jalali revealing body camera footage with community service officer Tyler Blackett, who was seen celebrating the harm caused to Miss Garner. In his narrative report on the use of force, Officer Hop recounted that upon contacting the suspect, she attempted to flee, leading to her being placed on the ground to ensure safe detainment. The suspect resisted arrest persistently, necessitating the application of multiple controlling holds. Consequently, the suspect sustained minor lacerations to her wrists from the handcuffs.
You okay?
Hey.
Let's get her down to the station.
Okay, we don't need to wait for Capello.
No, we can see what I mean,
Okay.
we know what's it say?
She stole some stuff, and they caught her before she left and got it back, and then she ran out. So we have
And
the,
then you contacted her for that,
and then she resisted and
obstructed and
obstructed.
resisted. So
we're good either way.
So we're good either way.
Cool.
She's going.
All right.
Let's get a free pass. If they decide not to prosecute, I don't care.
Cool. Okay, we'll head down there.
And a small laceration to her chin. Despite clear contradictions between Officer Hopp's account and the body camera footage, as well as Miss Garner's actual physical condition, higher-ranking officers, including Sergeant Metzler, approved the use of force as necessary, reasonable, and within policy. However, the situation took a significant turn when Miss Garner filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Loveland, Officers Hopp and Jalali, and Sergeant Metzler. The case gained national attention when Miss Garner's attorney, Sarah Shilka, publicly released the body camera footage on April 14, 2021. In response to public outrage, Officer Hopp was placed on administrative leave, while Officer Jalali and Sergeant Metzler were reassigned to administrative duties pending an internal investigation. Subsequently, all three officers, along with Officer Blackett, chose to resign from their positions. Now, here's our next story of a cop violating the rules. On January 12, 2023, Officer Jack Lowry of the Bloomington Police Department initiated a traffic stop on Ricky Pouncil, a local resident, as he was driving through the city of Bloomington, Minnesota, on his way back from the gym. The ensuing interaction between them was recorded on Officer Lowry's body camera. Officer Lowry informed Mr. Council that he had been pulled over for driving on the center lane and subsequently documented in his police report that the stop was due to a lane violation and driving at 53 miles an hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone as per Section 169.15 of the Minnesota statutes. The statute states that driving at a slow speed impedes normal traffic, and it's prohibited unless necessary for safety or compliance with the law. However, considering the vehicle's weight and the highway grade, Officer Lowry's belief of Mr. Council's violation may not be reasonable, as he was driving slightly below the speed limit. Additionally, Officer Lowry claimed Mr. Council was drifting between lanes, which under Section 169.8 requires driving within a single lane unless it can be done safely.
With valid license, everything? Okay. Anytime, man. I'll be back.
License status valid.
Rental car, pretty distinct reaction to my presence, and then going like 55 in middle lane, and wasn't really cooperative with me at all. Didn't want to tell me where he was coming, where he was going. There's some luggage in the backseat too.
What?
Like a couple bags in the trunk. Okay. He didn't seem super cooperative, so I'm just gonna pull him out and try to talk him out here. Ricky, right?
The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld that pretextual stops, motivated by investigating potential criminal activity, are constitutionally valid, regardless of the officer's true motivations. Thus, if the court accepts Officer Lowry's statement about the lane violation, the traffic stop is likely to be deemed constitutionally valid. According to the police report, Officer Lowry conducted a search of the vehicle, finding only vitamin C capsules. Subsequently, Mr. Pouncil was released after being detained for approximately 35 minutes. The incident came to light when Mr. Pouncil's nephew reached out to relay the details. Despite Mr. Pouncil and his family's efforts to report the incident to the city of Bloomington, the Bloomington Police Department and the city attorney, no wrongdoing was found on Officer Lowry's part and no corrective actions were taken. The encounter left Mr. Pouncil feeling marginalized and alienated from local authorities. While Officer Lowry avoided physical confrontation, he inappropriately extended the traffic stop without reasonable suspicion and used manipulative tactics to obtain consent for the search. Mr. Pouncil receives a B+ for maintaining composure and filing complaints, but his ability to challenge Officer Lowry's actions was diminished by consenting to the search.